When we hand over core government functions to machine learning systems, decades of legal safeguards are instantly bypassed. What follows is a silent transfer of power from elected officials directly to private tech vendors. Welcome back to Wandt Courseware, the series unpacking the intersection of technology and law with Professor Adam Scott Wandt. We're bringing you these insights from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Traditional government authority rests on visible accountability. Agencies operate under a strict duty to give reasons for their actions, ensuring their decisions possess democratic legitimacy. That visible accountability is the foundation that allows a citizen to challenge the state. When public administration becomes opaque, we lose the mechanisms required to keep power in check. Right now, federal agencies are rapidly adopting artificial intelligence to handle high-stakes decisions, scaling everything from regulatory enforcement to the processing of public benefits. Take a look at this logic model. It shows what happens when we replace a transparent administrative process with an opaque central node, the black box. Because these systems run on proprietary machine learning, the internal logic of how they reach a decision remains entirely hidden from both the public and the government officials using them. Without knowing why a decision was made, citizens are stripped of their right to procedural due process. You cannot audit, appeal, or legally challenge the reasoning of a machine when its pathways are locked behind a corporate firewall. In the rush to optimize administrative efficiency, agencies have outsourced democratic authority to private software developers, opening up a severe governance vacuum. To close that vacuum, we need a structured blueprint. We can think of this as the governance stack, starting at the absolute base layer, legal accountability. Under administrative law, federal agencies are held to the arbitrary and capricious standard. They cannot issue rulings without providing a rational, explainable basis. This creates an immediate operational mandate. Agencies must build the internal capacity to clearly justify algorithmic decisions to a judge, rather than blindly trusting the output of a mathematical model. To make that possible, we have to enforce strict limits on the use of trade secret protections by government tech vendors. Reclaiming accountability at this foundational level establishes a hard rule. A vendor's right to corporate secrecy cannot supersede a citizen's constitutional right to due process. Moving one level up, we reach the operational layer. This is where international frameworks, like those developed by the OECD, guide how we safely deploy these systems. A major threat here is algorithmic lock-in. If agencies fail to maintain their own technical competencies, they become completely dependent on a single private vendor to execute core state functions. This represents the OECD's primary structural solution, public sector AI registries. It's a transparent database matrix indexing every government AI deployment, tracking the purpose, vendor, and oversight. These registries force agencies to pause, requiring manual human approval before any decision executes, ensuring strict safety standards. Operating artificial intelligence requires building tough bureaucratic infrastructure. The government has to actively manage the technology, rather than allowing the technology to manage the government. Finally, we reach the top of the governance stack, the user interface. This represents the actual society and the citizens forced to interact with these automated systems. Too often, deployments are judged on top-down metrics like raw processing speed or cost savings, completely ignoring the social equity of the outcome. Public administration scholar M.J. Moon proposes participatory algorithmic design as a direct corrective to that top-down automation. By integrating community workshops, diverse stakeholder panels, and direct citizen feedback into the design lifecycle, agencies can identify and fix blind spots that would otherwise exclude vulnerable populations. A technically flawless algorithm fails its purpose if it marginalizes the public it is supposed to serve. True democratic innovation requires community inclusion built directly into the code from day one. The governance stack assembles by locking together the layers of law, infrastructure, and society. Shifting core government decisions to software models moves administrative power. To maintain democratic control, our oversight systems must match this new architecture. We can achieve administrative efficiency without sacrificing democracy, but it requires mandatory public registries, firm limits on proprietary vendor secrecy, and inclusive system design. Algorithmic governance must operate under a robust public interest mandate. The technology serves the citizen, not the software vendor. Stay curious and want knowledge. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe for more deep dives into the policy shaping our future.